boys and girls. Today we're going to read an informational text about Mae Jemison. And the author's name is Luke Collins and also Gail Saunders Smith. So I want to talk about an informational text because we know that writers write for one of three reasons: to persuade, to inform, or entertain. Remember, persuade means talk me into something. Inform is teaching me about something, and entertainment is just for fun. Which one do you think this one would be? Mae Jemison. Take a look at the front cover. Yep, you're right. To inform. That means the author wants to teach us about something. And what do you think the author is going to be teaching us about today? Mae Jemison. You're right. So let's learn about Mae Jemison. When I open up this informational text, see the cover page, the title page, and then I see the table of contents. Remember, the table of contents is going to tell me which page I can find certain information. So if I just wanted to read about Mae Jemison when she was young, I could only read the chapter on young Mae. Or if I was doing research on her only when she was a grown-up, I could read the chapter that says as an adult and just turn to that page. Remember, these nonfiction texts, these informational texts, I don't have to read in order. Okay, Mae Jemison. Meet Mae. Mae Jemison was the first African-American woman to travel into space. Mae is known for more than being an astronaut. She is also a doctor and a teacher. Do you know anyone who's a teacher? That's right. So, an astronaut is someone that flies into space. You can't be called an astronaut until you've been into space. Young Mae. Let you see the photograph. And then I'm going to read the captions to you. A science classroom in Mae's high school in Chicago. Does anyone know where Chicago's at, or know anyone from Chicago? That's not very far from here, is it? In 1956, Mae was born in Alabama. My mom was born in 1956, so that makes me think of her. Young Mae. Mae was born on October 17th, 1956 in Alabama. At age 3, Mae and her family moved to Chicago. Mae's father was a carpenter. Her mother was a teacher. Mae enjoyed reading and learning about science. She liked learning about outer space. This is Cornell University. And in 1956, she was born in Alabama. We read that on the last page. It looks like the author is showing us a timeline here to show us the order that these events happened. And now it's telling us in 1977, she goes to medical school. Here's her medical school, Cornell University. After high school, Mae went to Stanford University. She graduated in 1977 and went to Cornell University. So she went to 2 different colleges, first Stanford and then Cornell. She studied medicine. Mae graduated from medical school in 1981. You have to go to medical school if you want to become a doctor. Oh, look, our timeline is growing. In 1983, Mae travels to Africa. Astronaut Sally Ride on board the Challenger space shuttle. That must be another astronaut. In 1983, Mae joined the Peace Corps. She traveled to Africa and worked as a doctor. That year, Sally Ride became the first U.S. woman to go into space. Mae dreamed of being an astronaut too. As an adult. So here's Mae Jemison as an adult. And look, our timeline is growing. She was born, she goes to medical school, goes to Africa, and here in 1987, she becomes an astronaut at NASA. So as an adult, Mae returned to the United States. Remember, she was in Africa. Now she comes back. She applied to NASA to be an astronaut. She was not chosen at first. In October 1986, Mae tried again. And in 1987, Mae was picked by NASA. She began training to go into space. So it looks like they told her no at first, but did she give up? No, she persevered and she tried again. That reminds me of when we read about Dr. Seuss, remember? Look at our timeline now. It's on to the second page here. 1995. Mae flies on shuttle Endeavour. That's it right here. The Endeavour lifts off into space. You see that rocket ship? On September 12th, 1992, Mae traveled into space on the shuttle Endeavour. She became the first African-American woman to fly on a space mission. The first African-American woman to fly on a space mission. The Endeavour spent 8 days in space. Mae did science experiments on herself and the crew. She wanted to see what space did to their health. Mae was famous when she returned to Earth. So here's a photo of Mae and another astronaut. And now down here on our timeline, it says 1992, flies on shuttle Endeavour. It doesn't look like anything new was added because it's just giving us facts about her being on the Endeavour. And then here's her in her later years. So here's 2 new things on our timeline. We have 1993, she leaves NASA and starts her own company. And in 1994, she starts science camp. Later years. Mae left the NASA space program in March 1993. That year, she started the Jemison Group. This company helps poor countries use new medical equipment. In 1994, Mae began a science camp for kids. How cool would that be, boys and girls, to go to a science camp with a real astronaut? Mae continues to help improve medical care in Africa. She is also a professor at Dartmouth School of Medicine. Mae has worked hard to follow her dreams. Now she is helping others follow theirs. Here she is. And here's the glossary. Remember when we're reading along in an informational text and we see some bold words? We can learn more about those bold words in the glossary at the back of the book. And then some other cool things. Here's some internet sites that we could go research more about Mae Jemison and some other books that we could read. Remember when we were writing our informational text? I think we were researching penguins at the time, and we talked about one cool way we could end our informational text was giving some other places to go look. Do you remember that? They did that in this book. It's pretty cool. And then finally we have the index. So if I was only interested in looking on the pages where it said she's an astronaut, I can come back here and look at astronaut and turn just to those pages. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed learning about Mae Jemison, the first African-American astronaut.